Welcome back to our Friday edition of News Geelong as we turn to the action-packed world of Geelong sport and our own flying hawk, Nathan Curry. Good evening, Nathan.
Thank you very much, Rollo. Well, the AFL season is well and truly underway, with Geelong taking on St Kilda at the MCG tonight. And the News Geelong caught up with Cats coach Chris Scott earlier to find out about everything happening down at the Cattery. Now, Scotty, do you have to factor in travel with the older players, given you do go to Perth in round 2?
Not really. I think it's a bit overrated, to be honest. If you travel every second week, it can become a bit of an issue. But in reality, for us, we'll go to Perth on the Friday, play the Saturday night, and we'll be done with our Perth travelling for a while. So the fact that Lingy might have to sit on a plane for 4 hours and play potentially for the first time at AFL level after a hamstring, I'd say would be a better situation than driving to Casey Fields for 2 hours, getting straight out of the car and playing. So I think we've got to be a little bit careful of how much credence we give the whole travel issue.
Now, objective data shows it's nearly impossible to maintain past performances once your average age hits 29. Do you think the Cats can maintain their past performances?
Oh, well, that's what we're all about. We're here to create our own history. Now, the fact that the objective data shows that it's difficult to do isn't news to anyone at Geelong. I'm sure it's not news to you guys outside of Geelong either. There will be question marks over older players if they don't perform at the level. Now, our intention is to make sure that they are performing at the level. I really appreciate that people have done their research and they understand how difficult it could potentially be for us, but it's not news to us.
Do you expect St Kilda to turn tonight's game into a real scrap like previous occasions, or will they follow suggestions that they will open the game up a bit?
I expect them to fight pretty hard for the contested ball. Sorry, check that. I expect them to fight extremely hard for the contested ball, and I expect them to defend extremely well. I don't think anything will change in that respect, and I'd be surprised if they expected any less from us. In terms of the way they attack, they've got some exceptional players in their forward half. If we give them the opportunity to move the ball well to those players, it could be difficult for us. But certainly the battle in and around the ball is going to determine the outcome of the game to some extent.
Ross Lyon expects a 10% tweak in Geelong's game plan. Is he on the mark?
Oh no, we're on record as saying that. We're pretty confident in, or we're very confident in a lot of the things we do, but we do need to move with the game. And I don't think any club is different in that respect. Collingwood would have adjusted things, St Kilda certainly have. But for the most part, the fundamentals of the game don't change too much. The 10% that you need to work on can be manipulated a little bit, but the way that we're approaching the game, the 10% is important, but the 90%, the fundamentals of the game, are the most crucial.
Do you see tonight's game as a real gauge for yourself and your players?
Oh, to an extent, but only to a small extent. I mean, it's a long season. We think that it's going to take time to get to where we need to be, but no team is in where they want to be round one. I wouldn't have thought. The game is going to move. We need to move with it and hopefully ahead of it. If things go well, it won't mean that we try any less the following week. The same thing if we lose. We've got to continually stay on top of things and fight to get better.
Do you think St Kilda have been a bit below par in recent weeks?
They've been below par probably compared to the standard that they've set in AFL games the last couple of years, but I would argue that we're a little bit the same. And it's really hard to get a gauge on how your experienced players are approaching the NAB Cup series. We expect a very different St Kilda to the one we saw play in the last fortnight, and will be the same. So how much do I read into that? Oh, virtually nothing.
Do you think you'll have the edge in the ruck given St Kilda's situation?
McAvoy is a good ruckman. He's a young ruckman. I guess the issue they have in the ruck is that they have a few injuries. We're fortunate that we have a few options there, but he has elite endurance. We expect him to play high game time. Now, we'll certainly work everything to our advantage to try to get an advantage in there, but yeah, I wouldn't have thought that it's going to decide the game.
Are you more nervous or excited about your first game in charge?
Oh, they mean the same thing, don't they? Yeah, I'm excited. There's a little bit of trepidation as well. I think it's got to the stage of the year where everyone, kind of supporters mainly, but internal footy people as well, are kind of hoping. There's not a lot more we can do to get prepared. We think we're really well prepared. In terms of my performance, we're heading into the unknown a little bit, but yeah, I'm leaning more towards the excited level rather than nervous.
Finally, Chris, what do you think about players not being able to return to the field if concussed?
Every club that I've been involved with doesn't send players that are unfit to play back out on the field. So I think if it articulates that a little more clearly, then that's a good thing. But no medical professional sends players out on the field that in their mind are unfit to go back out there. It's as simple as that. If it's made it clearer for everyone, then that's a positive thing.
Thanks for your time there, Scotty, and good luck tonight, mate. Hope it all goes well for you and the boys. Now, Chris isn't the only new coach in town, with Matt Cavedon taking the reins down at the St Albans Football Club. And News Geelong caught up with him earlier to discuss his plans for season 2011.
Yeah, that's a good question. I guess the coaching thing's kind of spurn from my time in the military. I've spent the last 10 years in the military, and football-wise, I've travelled all around Australia. I've played in WA, ACT. I've also played in the VFL last year and grew up playing in the Ovens and Murray down in northeast Victoria. So yeah, now I find myself coaching, so it's kind of just was a natural progression, and the opportunity arose, and yeah, I've gone from there.
How did St Albans appeal to you, the footy club?
I think where St Albans was at the time, I had another couple of coaching offers on the table. Where St Albans were at the time was they had a good group of local talent that had sort of progressed through to the point where they were at sort of the 30 to 50 game mark, so they were looking to take that next step. They needed to put the right things in place so they could make that step. So I guess that and the facilities and some exciting things happening around the club was, I guess, what appealed to me the most.
You've been training them all over summer, so where do you see them at now? Are we talking finals this year, or? Oh,
absolutely, yeah, absolutely finals. Anything short of finals is I guess where I think it's at is that everything's in place now, and it's up to the playing group to take that next step. But we'd be definitely disappointed going off where they finished last year, and the opportunities that they had last year and the improvements that we've made this year would be really, really devastated if we didn't make finals. Have
you tweaked the game plan at all?
Yeah, we have. We kind of found that we needed to structure up a lot more, so we've put in a lot of defined structures and been disciplined within those structures, as well as generally changing the culture of the club. We believe those two things will come together and hold us in good stead for the year ahead.
Now, finally, have you got any big name recruits you can tell us about?
Yeah, we've got recruited Lachlan Longmire, who's been my assistant coach. I think he'll have a big impact on the competition this year. He comes from, he's got experience playing senior VFL footy. I've also recruited Matt Davis and Ricky Morris from Frankston. They both have played VFL senior footy. Matt Davis last year had an outstanding season, so we're looking forward to him to push into the midfield. Former St Kilda big man Chris Oliver, he'll play up forward for us. Really excited about him working in tandem with Andrew Banjanen. We've also recruited myself. Recently we signed a guy called Adrian Newman, who's a goal kicker from the Mornington Peninsula League. We've also signed Michael Jennings, who will come straight into our side from East Geelong, and he's going to have a big impact on the competition this year as well.
Thanks for your time, Matt, and good luck for the season. That's it for sport this week. I'll be back next Wednesday night, but until then, as always, it's back to you, Rollo.
Thank you, Nathan. And now the latest weather information. A very good evening to sparkling Lani Salathiel. Good evening, Lani.
Thank you, Graham. As our autumn weather continues in and around Geelong, let's look at the week ahead. Tomorrow, Saturday, will be mostly cloudy with isolated showers, clearing by midday with a top of 18. For Sunday, we'll see morning cloud, then sunny, and a top temperature expected to be 19. To start next week off, Monday, it will be a sunny day, looking like a nice day, 24. Tuesday will also be sunny with a top of 24 again. For Wednesday, we're looking at a partly cloudy day with isolated showers and a top temperature of 21. Thursday will also be partly cloudy with a few isolated showers in and around Geelong, a top of 20. And today it was mostly cloudy with a few isolated showers around, a top temperature of just 17. Bit of a cool day. And that's the weather for tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evening and your weekend, and it's back to you, Graham.
Thank you, Lani, and thank you for being with us on News Geelong. To the Great Western Hotel in downtown Newtown, bring back the mealtime roasts and take your time and smell the flowers. From all the team at News Geelong, have a pleasant evening, a safe and enjoyable weekend, and a very good night.